everybody. Welcome back to another episode of me reading a book, and its name is How Airplanes Get From Here to There, Part 2. So let's get started with our story. How Airplanes Get From Here to There. And in part 2, we're going to read Have a Safe Trip and Flying in the Future. Chapter 3. Have a safe trip. Today, even before you board a plane, science is part of the airport experience. At security, the guards ask everyone to walk through a metal detector. They want to make sure that no one is carrying anything dangerous, such as a weapon or an explosive. If the machine goes beep, 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 it means that a person could be carrying a weapon, or that the person simply forgot to remove their belt, which has a metal buckle. So, how does this machine know if something is made of metal? The secret is electromagnetism. Scientists used to think that electricity and magnetism were different. But in the 1870s, James Clerk Maxwell discovered that they are parts of the same thing in both electricity and magnetism. Invisible particles called electrons flow from one atom to another to create a magnetic field. When you walk through the detector, you pass next to a coil of wire called a transmitter coil. Electricity flows through this coil, creating a magnetic field around it. If you have any metal on you, the magnetic field detects it and sends a signal to a loudspeaker that beeps. A peek inside your bags. As you walk through the metal detector, your carry-on bags move through a machine that uses X-rays, which are a type of high-energy light that we cannot see. You may have seen X-ray pictures in the dentist's or doctor's office. These pictures can show what your teeth and bones look like under your skin. X-rays can travel through soft materials other than the skin too, such as plastic and leather, but not as well through metal. That's why X-rays are great for searching for metal weapons. A nose for security. Airport security experts sometimes get help from dogs. These dogs are specially trained to sniff out materials used to make explosives. As you probably know, dogs have an amazing sense of smell. You have about 5 million scent receptors in your nose. Sounds impressive until you realize that some dogs, such as bloodhounds, have about 300 million receptors in their noses. Training bomb sniffing dogs takes a lot of time. Over and over, special trainers hold the smell of an explosive near a dog's nose. After training a dog to learn what explosives smell like, if the dog sniffs and recognizes it anywhere outside the training area, the dog gets a treat, such as a toy or a snack. To train and care for a bomb-sniffing dog can cost more than $200,000 a year. But the animals are very good at what they do and are an important part of keeping airports safe. Why birds and planes fly but you can't? Have you ever wished you could fly like a superhero? You know, leap into the air and speed through the clouds? Sadly, no matter how hard we flap our arms, we're not going anywhere. The reason that we can't fly, but birds and planes can, is physics. Physics is the science of matter, motion, and energy. According to physics, there are 4 forces that affect a plane: weight, drag, lift, and thrust. Weight is a downward force caused by the Earth's gravity. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls objects together. Bigger objects have more gravity than smaller things. Earth is much bigger than a ball. So, when you toss a ball up, it is pulled down. A jet plane is a very large object that gravity pulls down on. A second force, drag, is the force that pushes against an object that is moving forward. Air seems to be made of nothing, but it's actually made of tiny gas molecules. Even though you can't see them, you push through a sea of molecules every day. When you're running to class or rounding second base on the baseball field, when a plane flies through the sky, drag tries to slow it down. A third force, called lift, pulls planes upward. When a plane moves quickly through the air, the curved shape of its wings forces the air above the wings to move faster than the air below the wings. The slower moving air under the wings gives the plane a push upward. The idea of lift was explained by a Swiss scientist named Daniel Baroneau. I think that's his name because I don't know how to pronounce it. This is the faster air above the wings. They're the blue arrows. And this is the slower air below the wings. They're the red arrows. And finally, the fourth force, called thrust, pushes the planes in the direction of motion. Engines produce thrust. For a plane to fly up, the upward force or lift must be greater than the downward force or weight, and the forward force or thrust must be greater than the backward force or drag. Think about it like this. Planes fly by going up and forward, right? So lift or up and thrust or forward have to be strongest. Because of physics, a paper airplane can fly, but the kid who threw it can't. Without a jetpack, of course. How a pilot steers. After an airplane takes off, passengers watch a movie, read a book, or take a nap. Not the pilot. He or she has the job of making sure the plane flies safely. Planes move in 3 directions known as pitch, yaw, and roll. Pitch relates to the nose of the plane going up and down. Yaw describes turning left or right, and roll refers to how the wingtips tilt up and down. To control pitch, the pilot raises or lowers the elevators. These are horizontal flaps on the plane's tail. When the elevators are lowered, the plane's nose dives. When they are raised, the plane climbs. To change the yaw, the pilot steps on pedals that control the rudder, a vertical flap on the tail of the plane. The rudder turns the plane left or right. Finally, to change the plane's roll, the pilot turns a wheel called the yoke that raises or lowers the ailerons, which are flaps on the wings. Things that go bump in the sky. The pilot sometimes tells passengers to return to their seats and buckle up because of turbulence. This means that air currents could be rough and shake the plane. Don't worry though. Pilots are trained to handle these disturbances, and planes are made to stand up to tough turbulence. Feeling nervous? Keep this in mind. Bad turbulence is very rare. If a ride starts to get bumpy, put on your seatbelt and try to distract yourself. Stuffy ears. When a plane takes off or lands, your ears may feel clogged or painful. What's up? Normally, the pressure inside and outside your eardrum is balanced. But when a plane takes off or lands, there's a sudden change in air pressure. The pressure is different on each side of your eardrum. Chewing gum or yawning can make your ears pop because these actions open a tube in each ear. This relieves the pressure. Chapter 4. Flying in the Future. Imagine if the Wright brothers could ride on an airplane today. They'd be thrilled, shocked, and amazed. Air travel has changed in so many ways since their time. For example, jets have become bigger, faster, and way more powerful. What will airplanes look like in 50 years or 100? Scientists love to dream up wild new ideas to solve problems. One wild idea is windowless airplanes. Windows might not seem like a problem, but they weigh a lot altogether. If there were no windows, the plane would be lighter and need less fuel. Less fuel could save money and cause less pollution. Of course, passengers still want to see outside, so some scientists propose that all inside walls of the plane be covered with video screens, which are lighter than windows. These screens would be hooked up to computers and cameras. The cameras would take a video of everything that was going on outside the plane. This improvement might make flying on an airplane scarier for some people. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's both. Scientists at NASA or the National Aeronautics and Space Administration sometimes look to nature for ideas when they design new aircraft. One example is the solar flapper. While it doesn't exist yet, this airplane would be powered by the sun and its wings would flap like a bird's. Another energy source that scientists are considering for planes is body heat. They're not saying that body heat would power the whole plane, of course, but it would be used to make simple gadgets work. Science of Fun Stuff expert on airplanes. Congratulations! You've reached the end of this book and are ready for landing. You are now an official Science of Fun Stuff expert on airplanes. So the next time you board an airplane, remember the physics behind the fun. Hey kids! Now that you're an expert on the science of airplanes, turn the page to learn even more about the Wright brothers, air travel today, and how to make a paper airplane. Okay guys, before we do the quiz, we are going to read how to make a paper airplane. Make a paper airplane. Use an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Step 1. First fold the paper in half. Hot dog style. Hot dog style means to fold the paper lengthwise to make a vertical line. So the paper is long and narrow like a hot dog. Step 2. Unfold the paper. Step 3. Fold the top 2 corners into the center line. Fold the top diagonal edges to the center. Step 4. Fold the entire plane in half along the first hot dog style fold. Step 5. Fold one wing down so that the short unfolded part of the wing is flush with the bottom edge of the plane's body. Step 6. Repeat step 5 with the other wing. Step 7. Unfold the last 2 folds so that the wings are perpendicular to the body of the plane. Step number 8. Fly your paper airplane. Tip. And here is a tip. When you fly your paper airplane, make sure that the airplane is level with the ground. And here it is, the paper airplane. Okay, guys, now it's time for the quiz to see how much you've learned. Okay, now don't look at the answers. Now, let's start with our quiz. Being an expert on something means you can get an awesome score on a quiz on that subject. Take the Science of Airplanes quiz to see how much you've learned. Okay, number 1. Air is made of A. Nothing, B. Dust, or C. Gas molecules. I think it's gas molecules. Yes. What pulls planes upward? A. Lift, B. Thrust, C. Drag. My answer is A. Lift. Yeah. 3. What does pitch mean in terms of airplanes? A. When a plane turns left and right. B. When the wingtips tilt up and down. Or C. When the nose of the plane moves up and down. My answer is C. Yeah. 4. When your ears pop on an airplane, that means A. You ate too many snacks. B. There was a sudden change in air pressure. Or C. There was a lot of turbulence. My answer is B. Yeah, it's right. 5. Physics is the science of matter, motion, and A. Energy, B. Music, or C. Art. My answer is A. Yeah. 6. To learn about flight, the Wright brothers studied A. Butterflies, B. Birds, or C. Turtles. My answer is B. Birds. Yeah. 7. Where did the very first air flight take place? A. In Dayton, Ohio. B. In Brooklyn, New York? Or C, Kitty Hawk in North Carolina? My answer is C. Yeah. Remember that in part 1? 8. What machine did the Wright brothers build to test the lift and drag of different airplane wings? A, propellers, B, an anemometer, or C, a wind tunnel? My answer is C again. Yeah. Did you get it right? Okay, guys, if you got it all right, congratulations. If you didn't, you can re-watch this video to re-answer these questions. The end. Okay, guys, now that we read the steps for making a paper airplane, I am deciding to make one. So, we are recycling this paper and we're going to measure the height and width. So from top to bottom, it's approximately 28 centimeters. And from side to side, it is approximately 22 centimeters. And that's approximately the 8.5 by 11 inches piece of paper. Okay, so the first step that we read was to fold the paper in half, hot dog style. Great. Now, the next step is to unfold the paper. And now it looks like a book. Now, the next step is to fold the two corners into the center line. Fold the top diagonal edges to the center. So that means like this. Great. Now the next step is to fold the entire plane in half along the first hot dog style fold. So that means we have to do it. We have to fold it in half. And now, step number 5 is to fold one wing down so that the short unfolded part of the wing is flush with the bottom edge of the plane's body. So that means I have to fold this wing from this corner to the bottom edge of the plane's body. What am I doing? I think I'm not doing it correctly. So I have to be holding the tip and I do. Okay, so I I think you have to do it like this. Okay, so now the next step is to repeat step 5 with the other wing. Okay, so I had to press here and do it like this. Great. Now I have to unfold the last 2 folds so that the wings are perpendicular to the body of the plane. So I think I have to do this. Oh, I have to unfold the wings like this. And done. Here's the paper airplane. Let's see if it can fly. Here it goes. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera. Okay guys, so I did it wrong because the wings of the plane have to be straight. Okay, so here it goes. Woo! Bye! Thank you for watching. If you like my video, click the subscribe. And don't forget to click the little bell so you can watch more of my videos. Bye!